Mustafa Suleyman was interviewed by the Financial Times last week, and what he said was chilling. He wasn't talking to an audience of tech bros. He was talking to the business world, and he was saying within 12 to 18 months, the professional world is going to change radically. Hey, are you AI ready? Most businesses and professionals aren't, and a seismic shift is 12 to 18 months out. The preparation starts now. The Are You Ready AI podcast brings you weekly conversations with the strategists, specialists, and industry leaders who understand what AI readiness actually requires and what you need to be doing about it. We are so excited to be here for the inaugural episode of the Are You AI Ready podcast. I'm September Smith.
And I am Shimizu Smith.
And we, through, of course, AI, have been working in the AI space for the last 3 years in business applications, processes, strategy, content, and education. We've been thinking about doing this podcast for the last couple of months, but since the beginning of 2026, things are changing by the day in some cases. And the implications are enormous for all of us, whether you're a professional, business owner, or somebody trying to manage in your role within a business. Big changes are happening, and understanding what is AI readiness for you and for your organization is huge as of right now. We all knew things were moving fast. We heard last spring, last summer, Bill Gates of Microsoft and Dario Amodei, the CEO of Anthropic, the company that brings us Claude, we were talking about within 3 to 5 years, we were going to see huge decreases in the number of entry-level jobs and the changing of roles within white-collar workers.
30 to 50% of entry-level jobs would disappear is what they were saying. It's shocking. 3 to 5 years gives you a little bit of a buffer, a runway, so you feel like, yeah, it's coming, but it's in the future. 12 to 18 months is here. And I think that's really what pushed us to start this podcast. And it's time to start giving people the global view that they might need to really surf or ride this wave, as you have been saying for the last 3 years, September.
Yeah, it's funny. 3 years ago, one of the pieces we had out on LinkedIn is, how are you going to surf this wave? And it's taken 3 years, but we're at the point now where they're saying we're at tipping point. And when we're grappling with that figure of 12 to 18 months, that doesn't mean that I can wait for another 12 months, either as a business person or as that professional, that white collar worker. This doesn't mean just continue doing what you're doing, and then in 12 months, somebody's just going to hand you the keys to a new vehicle. That means you need to start preparing now for what's coming. This is acceleration in technology like we have never, ever seen. Over the last 6 to 8 months, coders and the software engineers have been canary in the coal mine with this whole revolution of what their roles were. It was just 1 year ago in February of 2025 when the term vibe coding was first coined. And at that time, of course, people in the coding world and the software engineering world were quite dismissive of this. By summertime, the conversation had heated up, and a lot of engineers and coders had taken this on and were actually using AI to do their coding. We've come 1 year around the cycle, and we just saw last month, Claude Code itself actually coded a whole other platform that now hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people are using. And in most circles in the engineering field, if you talk to people and you say, are you using AI to code? It's a given. Anybody who's not, you'd have to wonder, how long are they planning before retirement?
When it comes to the difference between the people who are going, let me learn this tool, let me figure out what skills I need to obtain to be able to start integrating AI into my workflow, into what I'm doing for my company, whatever your situation is. What's the difference between that mentality of the person who's doing it versus the person who's not?
I think because in the engineering world, the coding world, things have always moved so much faster than they have in other white collar professions. So there is a baseline readiness to be flexible and to move to the next newest thing, much more so than in other fields. And when all your peers are piling on that quickly, and it's very clear how it's going to be adopted and the way your role is going to shift, it makes it easier. It's like, okay, I used to code this way, and now this is how I do it. They've almost got a roadmap. Now, when it comes to non-technical domains, that's a whole different environment altogether. There hasn't been that kind of evolution. It's much slower. If you're a professional or a business, you're going to have to figure out, how are we going to manage this? We're all in a position right now where we're going to have to think, what do I need to do to get ready for this?
Mm. If I was a listener, I'd be sitting here thinking, what is AI ready? If I wanted to ensure I was AI ready as a professional, for example, give me what that really looks like.
I think for the professional, that means having a level of what I call strategic AI capability, which has a huge bundle of skills and meta skills and cognitive skills and things that we didn't even have to, as human beings, have to do prior to the last year or two. That's a whole area of discussion and research that's really rich and really fascinating. But somebody who has a level, not a basic level of write me an email, somebody who can involve themselves in what is being referred to now, for lack of a better term, as human AI collaboration, using AI as your thinking partner. It's like two brains working together. Somebody who has deep proficiency, AI fluency, as it's called. You know the rules. You know all the techniques. You know how to do your prompting, how to communicate.
What the AI is capable of and its
Yeah.
limitations.
And another is the whole thing of context. That's hugely important. And that was another thing last year. They're saying 2025 is the year of context. This is when we're all going to finally figure out that that's what we need for AI to work really well. We're still not there. There's different ways businesses are doing it, but that the individual needs to understand what that is and how to build context. Context engineering is the term that they've settled on, at least for the time being. Those three, and then the other thing that I have come across that I realize is one of the, if not the biggest stumbling block for people to use AI in a really deep and advanced way, in that strategic AI capability. And it sounds kind of off track, but it's core to the issue. And that is problem decomposition, which is a term to describe figuring out, what's the problem here? What really is the problem we're solving for? Or what is the decision we need to make? And it's like a mathematical equation. You have to look at, what are all the things involved and what are all the things that need solving for, to get us to a point where we can then solve that ultimate problem or goal.
Right.
Being able to do that is something that most people in most professions are not called upon to do. So it's not like a lifetime habit. It's not like a mental groove that people are used to falling into. And to be able to really use generative AI in a spectacularly powerful way, that is essential. And if you can't do that, that limits what you can do with AI, because you can't tackle the very biggest of problems because you don't know where to get started.
Strategic AI capability. That's what separates professionals who stay relevant from those who don't. The Strategic AI Intensive builds that capability in just 5 sessions over 9 days, using hands-on experiential learning. No brain-numbing tech lectures, just AI for what matters most for you. One graduate called it a year's worth of progress in just 5 sessions. Find out if it's the right fit for you at intensive.ofcoursepro.com.
Like the famous headline from last August and September about why are 95% of all AI implementations failing? And basically, you don't have to sift that out too far to realize it's not the tech. If tech advances stopped right now, it would take us a decade to catch up. Failures for humans. One thing I would say about that, for AI readiness for the individual, basically, if you can attain that level of strategic AI capability with those meta skills, and then know how to generalize that to the tools that are available today, these skills aren't going to change. The platforms will change, the tools will change, but this strategic AI capability is like the operating system for you to work with AI. And if you have that, then you can roll with whatever's coming. So I think for the individual, for that professional, to get that level of proficiency, that strategic AI capability, is going to be what is going to prepare you and make you ready for whatever comes.
Yeah. It's a really good thing that you brought that up, because I think that underpins everything, right? No matter if you're the decision maker or the individual, if you don't have that mindset piece, you're not AI ready. That's what
No,
this comes down to. I've talked to so many people who are in this mindset of, give me the tech stack. Just give me the AI tool stack that I need to make whatever project I'm working on, whatever position I'm in, work. And if you're talking about decision makers or business owners, just give me the software I need to implement so all of my team members can start being AI proficient, right? Implementing a piece of software that has AI functionality is not AI ready.
No.
Knowing an AI tool is not it. Knowing how to use a tool with AI capability is not AI ready. It's having that skill set and being able to apply that to anything.
Yes. And over the last year, there have been a lot of content out there basically exhorting people to invest in our platform, invest in our technology. And when you do, then you're AI ready.
I think
Like
that's so
somehow,
unfortunate. It
no,
benefits the company, right? Because it takes that pain point, that fear that lots of business owners have of, we need to implement AI. Okay, we're using this software now. Case closed, box checked.
now we're
It-
AI ready. No,
We're
no.
so
And
unfortunately,
that comes back to why 95% of all initiatives and implementations fail to get ROI, which when they did the analysis of that, 63% of all vectors that fed into the failure was the human factor, whether it came to their proficiency in AI, whether it came to their buy-in, which a lot of times you're not going to get buy-in if the people aren't trained and they have a fear and an anxiety around it. Of course, they're not going to be cooperative. They don't know what they're doing. They feel like they're going to lose their job and they're intimidated. So you can't solve this problem by investing in a platform or a tool. It does not mean, okay, good, job done.
it benefits those platforms
It
for mass
does. It
buy-in,
truly
but it
does.
doesn't benefit your company.
And if that's your approach to your AI readiness, to your AI adoption, you now have lock-in. You are now dependent on that platform. Whatever that platform may be, your whole company is now tied into their ecosystem and their processes.
And you better
I'm
hope
saying
they're
you're like a
evolving at the same pace as the rest of the industry that you're in. Yeah.
exactly.
Okay, so we've covered so many topics. Again, the inaugural episode. I think the key thing here is that this 12 to 18 months timeline's real. If you're a decision maker listening to this September, or you're a professional, an individual, an employee, how do you rapidly become AI ready?
And it's probably my bias, but I think it really would serve anyone well, be they that CEO, the business owner, or even the individual professional. Get yourself AI capable so that you can figure out, where do I need to be? What do I need to learn next? What is the next best decision I need to make? I think everyone needs to really get to a point right now where they are AI capable and then they can really start navigating their own path forward.
Right. Going to be really exciting, everything that we're going to explore. Do you want to break down what people can expect through the coming episodes on this podcast?
It's going to be a mix. We're going to be looking at different aspects of readiness, AI readiness for businesses. I want to bring guests who, through their own personal expertise and their business expertise, their technical expertise, their education expertise, that can give us their unique insights. We all have that sliver of knowledge in what's happening. Everybody has their own insights. Nobody's insight is all encompassing. So I think it's a matter of hearing all of the different perspectives and voices and finding some kind of consensus for your organization, your business community, your state, even your country. I think we all need to understand that this is a race. This is a race that's happening now. And this is unfolding, as we said, at an unprecedented pace. And there will be winners and there will be losers. We are at a point right now where it's all shaking out who's going to be playing what roles. And that's another area that I watch very closely. Right now, Mexico is really, really well positioned, both geographically, prior business and trade arrangements, but that doesn't win the race. There's so many other factors at play here. So being able to have people come in and give us their perspective on not only Mexico, but I would like to speak to people and bring opinions about where they see things should be going now, because I think people need guidance. People would love to hear somebody say, this is what you need to do. This is what works. This is where we're going. This is what you need to watch out for.
Exactly. So, as September said, the landscape is evolving rapidly. We have that 12 to 18 month, I don't want to call it a deadline, but date looming in the future. This is something that we need to be acting on right now. And that's what we're going to be exploring together on this podcast. September, with all her expertise, background, and knowledge, with very authoritative guests in the space. And with people who have the insights who are worth hearing.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. It's going to be exciting.